Reform welcomes porn star Bonnie Blue's support. Quite odd. What was this all about? Well, there was a press conference and someone caught old Danny Krueger out. Danny Krueger was asked about Bonnie Blue, and this was what he had to say.
On Bonnie
Big
Blue,
D Krugs.
take votes wherever we can get them. We want all the support we can get, quite like Bonnie Blue. We're not going to be fussy about that. But listen, I'm not going to be judgmental about people who want to vote reform. Good for them if they will. Thank you.
When he says quite like Bonnie Blue, I think he's saying, as far as I can tell, he's saying much like as her as an example. He's not saying he likes her, just to clear that up. But he is saying they'd welcome her support, which was weird. She did an article in The Spectator, and I did a whole piece for Lotus Eaters about what's the point of The Spectator and Unheard, and why are they so liberal and anti-Christian, which is strange because they're backed by Sir Paul Marshall, who is a Christian. But they put out a piece in, for example, in Unheard saying reform's too Christian. They put out a piece saying the future is going to be Muslim. And in Britain, then they put out a piece for The Spectator from Bonnie Blue. And it's Freddie Sayers who seems to be in charge of the whole direction. And you go, what is this all about? It's not conservative. And it's sort of anti-Christian. And so when Danny Krueger, who is a Christian, quite a staunch Christian, talks about Bonnie Blue, you're expecting a bit better than that. He's been caught off guard. I understand that. I don't have anything much against him, but he has been caught off guard. But he could have very simply said, well, as a Christian, I would hope that she repents. I mean, the way I put it in my tweet was, if you've ever had an opinion to the right of a 1990s Lib Dem, reform will condemn you. But if you're the world's most notorious prostitute, you are welcome. I mean, all I'd have said was something like this, Paul. Of course, she's free to vote for reform. That's up to her. And, we're always happy to have votes. But as a Christian, I would say, I would hope that she repents and changes her lifestyle. And if in a secular sense, I'd just say maybe there's something else better she could do than promoting porn and prostitution and degeneracy to our young people. I mean, would that be that hard to say something like that? You wouldn't even have to say degeneracy, but something like that. Would that be so hard?
No, and I think it's fair to call it degeneracy. I mean, This is a woman. If you're unaware, and I'm guessing the majority of our followers are men, so you probably are fully aware.
We've got some women on the Substack.
They're no as well. And welcome, ladies. Thank you.
Yeah, they stay despite my views.
Yeah. Well, they stay for the eye candy, Nick.
Yeah.
The which I think is you.
I don't know.
The face tuned eye candy. We're not just meat ladies. But you can use us. I don't know what you're supposed to say at this point. Whatever.
I'm waiting for your point about Bonnie Blue.
Yeah, sorry, I got totally confused by trying to talk. I don't know how to talk to women. What do women want with Paul Cox?
We still don't know.
No. So, yeah, Bonnie, it is degeneracy. She invited 1,000 young men to line up and plough her into the next universe. So I would say that was immoral. And
Asian men with masks on, almost exclusively.
Yeah, it seems to be that way.
Folks.
Yeah, nervous-looking white blokes, very excited-looking Asian guys. Thinking normally we have to drug them and find them in an orphanage to do this sort of shit, but that she's actually inviting us in. So
loads of Asian guys and 3 doctors, no, 3 white lawyers who were there. I'm terribly sorry. Was I ahead of me in the queue?
Just 4 white guys on a stag do.
Yeah, on a bet. Imagine, man.
Anyway. So yeah, Danny Krueger, as I called him a minute ago, Big D Krugs. I think all fair.
That's all also what Bonnie Blue calls him in the queue, Big D Krugs.
Yeah, big time. Come on, Big D. You can have 23 seconds. The rest of them get 19. You're on the you're. I don't know what the rules are, Nick. I don't know how to talk to women.
It works well because they get 17 seconds each, and they're happy with that. She said in the Spectator article, they all get to know each other and all have something in common. Yeah, they do have something in common. I'll give you that. They do have something in common. I said a funny thing to Carl that he didn't realize is that Bonnie Blue hates women and is like, that's the one redeeming feature of her. She always says, look, if they're not doing their job, that's when your husband comes to me. What can I say? Ladies, you're not doing your job. She's not even northern, but in that one way.
What does it feel like? I mean, after the 5th guy, it must just be like a
You need to tell me what it feels like. If I have to tell you what it feels like, Paul, we'll get into Piers Morgan versus Nick Quender. You don't even know what it feels like. You ain't even had sex. You're a total loser. What's wrong with you? I want to get laid, mate. So, it feels like 17 seconds of pure bliss, Paul. Then you go straight to the clinic for for rigorous tests. See how many. It's not even whether you have an STD. It's how many you have and how bad they are.
Yeah.
That's all you're testing at that point. Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, but
I don't think they're making love, are they?
It's not. There's not much love making going. You feel for men in a way that they're doing this. Like, how desperate are these men? Like, what have we done to the culture?
It's the perfect business, Nick. Let's not shy away from it. There's an attractive young woman. I don't actually. This is weird, right, to say, because quite clearly she's an attractive young woman. But there's something about her that's incredibly sinister. There's something about her that's very dark. That I don't know. She looks like she's a bit of a psychopath, genuinely, to me, sort of dead behind the eyes. And I mean, of course, you're going to be dead behind the eyes if you're getting plowed by 1,000 men every other bank holiday or wherever they do it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the bank holiday. It's a new holiday starting next year. Starmer's bringing it in. We're doing the body blue bank holiday for all the desperate men who are struggling, because Labour cares about working men who need.
It'll probably be part of the benefits policy next year.
Intercourse. What? Yeah. Of course. Yeah. It's all the people who are unemployed, so that's why they got time to queue for like 3 hours for 17 seconds of pure bliss, and then a long AIDS test. Paul, I mean, I don't know how we got into. Well,
should I make a point? I haven't made a point yet.
No, well, I got one thing to say before you do, which is, she's not even that hot. I mean, let's just go there. I mean, I was watching a Louise Perry debate with her on the Modern Wisdom podcast, and Louise Perry was hotter. I mean, is this the wrong way to talk about an intellectual woman? She was actually hotter, as well as being an intellectual who doesn't need to do that. What Bonnie Blue does, she just uses. Mind you, Bonnie Blue hasn't got her mind. So is it just the?
Well, I was about to say, beyond about the age of 18, maybe 21, there is more to it than just the physical features, because by that time you've maybe had a girlfriend and you've spent some time with them and figured out, actually, beyond just physical attraction, there needs to be something else there. And, men come to that a little bit later than women, thankfully, which is why...
I was making a different point, though, that Bonnie Blue can't compete in the market based on
her
brain.
No, of course, but it's why... But she's
like the darts girls. Remember the darts girls? And I don't know how I feel about that, because maybe the darts girls are part of the same degeneracy. But I thought at the time, I didn't like that feminists who were smart but not as good looking were attacking these darts girls who basically just stand there in a bikini and saying you can't have that job, when that's sort of something they can do.
Oh, that's nowhere near degeneracy, though, by comparison, is it?
No,
that's nothing. They're like nuns by comparison.
Now I would have a kind of Christian Taliban state, but at the time I was thinking of it in class terms. Like, you're a working class girl, happens to be good looking, and it's quite a lot of work to maintain it all and everything. You've got to go to the gym and do all these moisturizers and stuff. Then you've got a feminist woman who's not that good looking but can use her brain. She says, well, you can't be a darts girl. And I thought, well, is that really fair to the darts girl? I'm a bit of I think I was a real feminist there, or at least a class warrior. Now I've gone much more hardcore Christian.
I mean,
that's what they do. They probably they have to put like their keys and phones in the back. Like, how's it? The security checks, isn't there?
I don't know how it works, Nick. I mean, I don't know.
Well, no, it's ages since you've been.
Yeah, I mean, I was on the first tour, obviously. That was when she was doing hundreds.
All sorts of rules now. There's all checks and balances now, and regulations.
I'm not queuing. Some of the queues are ridiculous.
Right, you were first. You were early doors.
I paid for the premium.
You got 2 minutes and 7 seconds.
Did I bollocks? Look.
Did you bollocks?
Danny Krueger probably has the. Yeah. I've not made a single point on it.
Let's make a point.
So Danny Krueger, all's fair in love and war, right? So politically, I think he's probably being quite astute, and maybe Nigel Farage and the others are too, because Bonnie Blue has a lot of fans, as we've just discussed. So and there are all these simp guys out there that couldn't give two shits about politics, that if Bonnie Blue said she's voting reform, they'd do it. They would do it. And do you know what? You take the vote, don't you?
We take the vote, but doesn't it damage? So we know Reform are basically 90s Lib Dems and they're social liberals, but doesn't it? They've got James Orr, who's a serious, professor or whatever he is of theology at Cambridge, and you've got Danny Krueger who's a devout Christian, and they're there saying he's not taking. So in some ways, right, the media are asking a stupid nonsense juvenile question, and the typical media rubbish. Oh, Bonnie Blue, and it's not a serious question. In another way, it is a serious question because it's about Do you have a program for social conservatism? Do you even care about that? And what Krueger's done there is very kind of, it is what I'd kind of expect from reform. It's like a kind of, well, it's something Farage will say, well, we need all the votes we can get. I don't necessarily approve of everything. It's this kind of thing. And it's like, we kind of needed to be better than that from Krueger. We needed, say, some moral guidance from Krueger, because what she's doing is not normal. It's not even just like a bit bad. It's really extreme and really bad. And it's destroying society. And it's also, as many people have pointed out, giving the impression that this is what white girls are like, and it's encouraging, arguably, things like the rape gangs. So it's really bad.
It's incredibly bad. That is.
Why couldn't Krueger say that? Was he just caught off guard?
Well, maybe, but he's trying to do his job, and he did get caught off guard. And is he going to? Am I defending him? I guess I am to some degree. From what I've seen, he just wanted to move on. He paid lip service to it and moved on. He could have made a moral stance at that point, but he was probably thinking of all the other things he wanted to say. He was stood at the podium delivering a speech and answering questions. There was lots of things that he wanted to say. He didn't give it. He basically stopped it there and then, though. Hasn't been too much said about it after that. Had he given a strong Danny Krueger personal opinion, there could have been all sorts of analysis of that would have kept it going infinitum. So perhaps it was the right thing to do. And he's a clever guy. He's
being more careful because he's in reform. When he was at NatCon, he talked about the normative family, and that got him a lot of attacks. It was just simply a point that the best family is a man and woman to raise a child. Very, very simple point. And that it has to be the norm, which is obviously true. But it seems to me now he's in reform. He's saying, we don't have a line on this. I wasn't expecting this question. I haven't thought about it. He's out a bit more, I don't want to say the wrong thing for the party line, but actually, and the spectator of platform there and all this stuff. Really, he should just say what he would say as a Christian. But it'd probably be something that people aren't used to hearing. But he was not afraid at NatCon to talk about the normative family. So why should you not say condemn Bonnie Blue, who, by the way, everyone basically thinks is doing a terrible thing. Certainly in Bali they do.
Yeah, and I can understand why
you'd 15 years.
I can understand why he'd be disappointed that he didn't. But I think he took, whether he meant to or not, he took all the air out of the conversation. It became a conversation for a day or two. He didn't offer any real opinion in it. And he basically said reform was for all, and that was that.
Rupert Lowe slammed it. He replied to mine saying, this is so grim. You always think, is that Rupert or his social media guy? But certainly his account replied to me and said, this is so grim. And he commented on it on Twitter. But go on.
Yeah, look, I mean, it is grim. And there's plenty of reasons why Rupert Lowe would want to attack reform. And that would be an easy attack line. I think it blows over. And it's not a big deal. I think that we do want a moral party. We do want a party. I don't think there's a party that condones it, really. I think maybe the Greens would condone it. And maybe aspects of Labour's left would condone it because they see it as the 28th wave of feminism where getting ploughed by 1,000 men is just, Saturday afternoon. And it doesn't respect women at all. So
Polanski would he'd try and increase her confidence with hypnotism so she could do 2,000 probably. That's probably what he'd do.
You can do it.
My problem is that Death by 1,000 Cuts keeps coming into my head, which bizarrely is a Taylor Swift song. So every time you say plowed by 1,000 men, I keep thinking of like plowed by 1,000 men. But I'm just like, stop thinking that. Rupert Lowe, reform should have outright rejected the endorsement from Bonnie Blue, entirely condemning what she stands for. Instead, they welcomed it. She does not represent the Britain I want to live in, far from it. She is a sick poison. What a grim mess we're all in. 17,000.
But here's the thing. When I said all's fair in love and war, I mean it. I think if you take out the moral aspect of this, which everybody's right to point out and discuss, by the way, but if you take that out and Bonnie Blue brings another 1 million men your way, look, when all's said and done, you're taking the votes, okay? They're in the bag. Who cares after that? And that is the nuts and bolts of it. So when you're sitting around in Reform HQ and you're thinking, do we condemn this?
No, but they're not going to get the votes. No one else. Reform, Bonnie Blue's fans are not going to vote based on her endorsement. What's going to happen is you're going to alienate.
That's exactly why I'm voting.
You get one vote from Bonnie Blue, then you alienate all the people who thought reform was social conservatives who don't vote for them because of it.